Well, hi everybody. This is Etta, and this is Friday night. It's going on about 9 o'clock here tonight. It's after the show has been today. I come over here at Cree's house to do the video because I have had a couple of requests to tell them what went on with children that was thrown off of the bridge. So I think I've got more or less all the story that happened. I was just telling about it because it just happened and I didn't know. Now, in the first story I said that it was 1:20 a.m. in the morning, and there was these people and other people that lived along the Willamette River there as when the bridge went across there, and they heard these screaming and screaming. And so they thought, well, they'd never heard this like screaming like this before. So they got up and they were listening, and then all at once they heard the scream go, screaming like someone was falling. And then they listened and listened, and they heard the screaming from the river. So the man said, well, somebody is needing help because they're yelling for help, help. Says, we better go and see what we can do. And they called the other neighbors and told them to call the harbor patrol or the police and tell them about what was going on. And they were going out in their boat to see if they could find whoever it was. So the river is real swift, so they turned the boat when they ran out, because they've got a dock there and their boat's docked at the... So just as soon as they could still hear the screaming from the river. Help, help, So, anyway, well, when they headed downstream, or where way the tide was a-flowing, because that's the way they were, the way the river was a-flowing, that's the way it sounded like the screams was a-coming from that direction, and they kept going, and lo and behold, now, in the first story, when I mentioned this, I said something about that the harbor patrol got the little boy. Not so. Not so. Because it has come out in the paper now that when these two people got up, they found the little girl, and she's only 7 years old, and she had her one hand clutched to her little brother that was 4 years old, and she wasn't about to let go. Now, how in this world can a little 7-year-old, she's I don't understand how, because the fall where they fell or where they were thrown from was 75 feet. 75 feet. Now, that's enough to kill a person when they hit the water, especially the little ones. So that might have did the little boy in. I don't know, because so these two people got both of the children into the boat, and the little girl stayed 3 days in the hospital. And yes, the mother is 31 years old, and they got her, and of all places they found her in a car garage where you park cars, and she was on the 3rd floor up from the bottom in this parking garage. But they got the mother that did this, and the story goes that last October she got a divorce from her husband, and in the court battle she was considered a very violent person, and that the court had ordered for the father to have the children. So he got the children, and he moved here to Eugene, and he started the little girl to school here, and all the neighbors has nothing but praises for the man, because they said that every morning you could see the man walking down the street with his hand, each child on each side of him, and he was walking his daughter to school every morning. He walked his daughter to school. And then, but see, during the divorce decree, that the mother, now listen to this, They said the mother could visit with the children, but she had to be chaperoned or somebody there. She was not to see the children by herself. So now that gives a little bit of inkling of what maybe was going on inside their home and the reason why the man divorced his wife. I don't know. But they said she had a violent nature. So anyway, they didn't say anything about her abusing the children, but I mean, it just be known that they said that through the divorce she was proven to be a violent person, and that he was decreed to have the children. So you take it from there. So anyway, after this, so the man and everything, and this, well, he had 2 days before that, he had went to the police and said that his children was kidnapped or gone, and had turned them in that they were kidnapped and gone. Now, I don't know how she got the children. It never has come out in the paper how she got a hold of the kids. But I know he'd been to the police already. They said that he'd already been. So when these children was picked up there in Portland, out of the people's boats, and they had already heard, the police had already heard about these, a boy and a girl, being taken from Eugene by his mother, and that the mother lived in around the Portland area or whatever. So they pretty well figured out who the kids was almost immediately. And like I said, the little girl is out of the hospital now, and she is planning on returning to school on Monday, I understand. And all her classmates and everything is sent her, made get well cards and all the people and everything. And anyway, the little boy now, this is the sad part about it. The little boy's funeral, it came out in the paper today, is going to be on the 31st Sunday. On Sunday they're going to have his funeral here. And that's the sad part. His picture was in the paper for that, and he's just a darling little thing. He was such a darling little thing. Well, anyway, now that is to wrap up the story, and that is all that I know so far about that. And the mother is in jail, and she is being charged with first-degree murder, and that also being, the others that were, well, I forget now what you call it, but anyway, it's for, the little girl, she didn't die, but she tried to kill her. So anyway, well, I know that the mother will get life. I mean, just like that Downing woman did here in Eugene that time when she killed her kids and threw them into the gorge up here a few years ago. She's got life in prison. And so that's what I've got to say about that. And I know that I've been requested and been told that they wanted to know about the story and what's happening with them. So the little girl seems to be completely all right. But isn't she a hero? Isn't she a hero? Even being thrown off the bridge. Now she might have thrown both of them. They're struggling, and the little girl screaming and everything. And she might have took both of them and pushed them off at the bridge at the same time. And the little girl might have had a hold of her brother all the time. I don't know. But all I know is that they said that in the water that she was. Now, I've got another sad story here to say that just came out today. This Cree Ruby, she is a gold medalist, and she dies today. She died today at the age of 31. She was a snowboarding champion and a gold medal winner for that. And she was climbing the mountain with a bunch of people, and they had ropes on them, and they started slipping, and they fell off of a glacier, and they went in between the deep crevice, into this deep crevice up there on this mountain of ice, or I guess they were, because they said it was a glacier that they went into. And not only her, but another 38-year-old man died along with her. And then there was a 27-year-old man that he is in pretty bad shape, but they took him and they flew him out to some kind of hospital. And I just read about that and heard about that today. So, I mean, that's too bad that a young person like that and, had to pass away. Well, I'm saying bye for now. So God bless everyone and have a nice night.